Hi guys, welcome to IMS Pro School case study on logistic regression. We'll be discussing the logistic regression case study, which essentially is to find out the potential customers who will buy insurance for the company called Nationwide. Now, the business problem, as you can see, is a detailed business problem. You can go through it and read, what we are talking about here. It gives you an idea about why decision making needs data science, and what are the aspects of data science that can enable decision making for a company and add value to it. Now, the basic task that we have been given here is that there is an insurance company that has launched the campaign in the past. They after the campaign, they gave some insurance to people, and they basically got the information on whether the people bought the insurance or not after the campaign. And now they have this data of around 4,000 customers, which is our training data, which we have to use to build a machine learning algorithm which could tell us on a set of test data of around 1,000 individuals whether they will buy the insurance or they won't. So what we essentially have here is some data which is associated with the customer. And when we talk about the training data, there's some variables which are associated with the customer, and then we have the information of whether the customer bought the insurance or not. Okay, so this is for a company called Nationwide. Now what we have to do is basically predict whether a person will buy insurance from this company or not on the basis of some past data that we have. So let me just open the data here. Okay, linear regression. So we've got the case study here. Let's open this case study and let's look at the training data set that we have. So there's your training data set, right? So what we have to do basically is we have to first import this training data set into our system, so that we can then work around with this data set, right? So what we'll do is we'll go to our Python notebook. Okay, and we'll import the pandas library so that we can basically get this data into data frame, or pandas data frame. So import pandas as PD. Let's see if this is working. It is taking some time, which it should not. Yeah, so it's working good. Now let's read in the data. So what we are saying is I'll call the data, or I'll call the object, which is a pandas data frame. I'll call this insurance underscore data. Okay, so we have the insurance data. I'll do a pd dot read underscore csv. Sorry, pd dot read underscore csv, and I have the file already in my working directory, so I'll just give the name of the file, which is car insurance underscore train. Alright, so car insurance underscore train dot csv. Alright, so there you have the insurance data, which is the training data. Let's also read the insurance test data. Insurance underscore test is equals to pd dot read underscore csv car insurance. Sorry, we should do this car insurance underscore test. You see, that's the file name, car insurance underscore test dot csv. So we have our training and test data that we have ingested into the system. Now let's look at the shape of the training data set, right? So look at the shape of the training data. So for that we'll use the shape function, insurance underscore data dot shape, and let's see. So the insurance underscore data, because d is small, INSURANC. So there's a typo, sorry for that. Tuple object is not callable. Okay, so this is an issue because we are calling a method on this. There you go. So shape is an attribute of the insurance data, which is a pandas data frame that we created. And now we are getting the shape of the data, which is essentially the number of rows and the columns in your data. So you are around 4,000 customers and you have 19 variables associated with these customers. Okay, now let's look at the shape of the test data and make sure that it is the same. Look at the shape of the test data. Okay, we'll do insurance underscore data test dot shape, and we have 1000 variables, 1000 individuals for whom we have the data, and we have 19 variables again, which is same as the test data. It's just that the size of the data sets is different. Okay, now let's look at the first 5 rows of our data. So we'll do a insurance insura nc underscore data dot head. All right, so there you go. That's your first 5 rows of your data. Okay, now that we've seen the first 5 rows of our training data set, let's look at the last 5 rows, right? So we'll do a insurance underscore data dot tail method to see the last 5 rows. Let's get ahead and look at the data type of our variables, right? So what I'll do is I'll use my training data and I'll just run the info method on top of it. And there's a typo. Okay, so there you go. That's your data type of the different variables that you have used in your insurance data frame, a pandas data frame, right? So you have the object ones. Object ones are essentially the categorical variables like job, marital, education, communication, last contact month. You have outcome, you have call start, call end, and then there is int64, which is essentially your quantitative variable, right? So now let's go ahead and look at something called as the summary statistics. This is something that we did for linear regression also. So using the describe method in the pandas data frame insurance data, we look at what are the different summary statistics for different variables in our data frame. So insurance underscore data dot describe. All right, so there you go. So we have the count, mean, standard deviation, the minimum value, the 25th percentile, 50th percentile, 70th, 75th percentile, and the max value for each variable printed here, right? So this gives you a lot of information about how your variables are. Now, if you want to get a summarization of only the categorical data, it's very simple, guys. We can do that, right? So let's see how to do that. So I'll just put a comment to get summary statistics for categorical data only. All right, so what we're gonna do is on the insurance underscore data dot describe, we're gonna pass it an argument called include, and we are gonna say np dot object. That means only include the one that is your object data type. Now the reason it is giving us a error is because it needs the numpy library. So we'll import numpy as np, right? So there you go. Now you have the information only for your categorical variables printed here on the console, right? So let's look at this. Now for the job variable, we have the count of 3981. That means there are some missing values in there. There are around 11 unique values. The top one that the system found was the management, and the frequency is 893. Okay. So let's look at, so this is the frequency of the 11 different, different unique values that you have got here. Then this is the same for marital. You have 4000, there's no missing value. You have 3 unique values. There's married, and then the frequency is 2304. Similarly, you can look at the rest of the categorical variables like education. You have communication. You have the last contact month. where there's no missing values. It is worth noting that there are a lot of missing values for your communication as well as for your education. The outcome variable also has a lot of missing values because you have only, the count is around 958 and that's it. Okay, so before we go on to visualize this data, we will have to import some libraries, right? So let's do that.